All right, everyone, we should be live. Thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday, January 6th, 2024. Welcome to the Coach Nate Show. We are live. And I think that's an important thing. I wanted to make sure that everyone knows who sees this once they get that in the notifications that we are live, which means that you guys are free. Yes, we have a topic. The topic today is omega-3s, but it's also live so you guys can come in and ask your questions as well. So just pointing that out. First and foremost, I hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday morning. Again, we're already on the 6th. We're almost a week into 2024. Hard to believe. I mean, the time just continues to fly, and it seems 2024 is no different. Hopefully, everyone is still continuing with their goals. I know we talked a lot about goals in our last few streams, and so I hope everyone's continuing with their goals. Remember, just to sum up the last few streams, make sure that your goals are realistic. You're taking it day by day. Don't kind of add a goal in there or add too many goals where you're stacking them, where it just becomes impossible to meet every single goal and achieve every single goal. So be kind with yourself. Make sure that you guys are trying your best with that. So today's topic, we are going to be going over omega-3 fatty acids, and I've talked a little bit about this. I've prepped it just a little bit in our discussions, why we need these omega-3 fatty acids in our diet. All right, these polyunsaturated fatty acids. Very easy to get the monounsaturated fatty acids, which a lot of people do, even in my comments, in my emails, in the chat comments. Everyone does a great job of getting those in. So when we talk about monounsaturated, I think the easiest one for me, because everyone seems to enjoy this and seems to like it, is avocado. All right, just full of monounsaturated fat. All right. We just want to make sure that we're getting a good ratio of polyunsaturated fat and monounsaturated fat. And we're going to make sure we talk about why, and we talk about what some of the foods are, and we talk about what some of the different types of omega-3 fatty acids. So we'll get into ALA, alpha-linoleic acid. We'll get into EPA, DHA, correct dosages, what might be the correct dosage for you. Of course, speak with your medical practitioner. And let me know where you're listening from and what time it is where you're listening from. I would love to know, because I want to know if this is a good time, if 9 a.m.s are a good time to start the chat. Now, let's just get it out of the way real quick. We are on January 6th. My face will be on, because we talked a little bit about the face being on the live streams. Again, I was waiting for that last part. I think I'm just going to bypass waiting for that last part of the studio. I'm going to finish it up here in the next day or two by the end of the weekend. And after Monday, from now on, those streams, every single stream will have my face on it. And we will have the camera up. We will have everything else put together. And we will have our discussions that way. So you can see my lovely face in the morning, drinking my coffee as we have our discussions. Another thing I wanted to throw out there, leave in the comments below, leave in the chat here. It always seems like Saturday mornings are a little bit slower on the chat. We'll give people a little bit of time to get up, to get in here. I know Saturday mornings can be a little bit tough, so maybe Saturdays at 10 might be a little better time. But going over a daily accountability stream. Do we want daily accountability streams? Maybe 20 to 30 minutes, not long streams. And again, we go over accountability. Maybe we talk a little bit about health. There's probably not going to be a topic like there would be today on omega-3s. It would just be general health discussion and accountability, so we are meeting our goals. But again, I hope you guys are still going strong. If you've quote-unquote fallen off the goal, don't worry, just start again today, make today day one, and then we can continue from there. So let's go over and let's get right into it. A lot of people, I always say if there's 3 supplements that I always think people should take, all right, say it was down to 3, maybe 4, all right, with vitamin D K2 supplement. All right, things have changed just a little bit with all of the information that's coming out. Let's go with 4. All right, number 4 would be vitamin D3 and K2 supplement. But my 3 that I would always recommend to people would be 1, all right, a multivitamin. So you're taking care of all of your vitamins, so your micronutrient needs. The next would be a probiotic. And then following after that is an omega-3 fatty acid supplement, especially if you don't eat a lot of fish, if you're not getting sardines and everything like that in your diet. Yes, you can go for walnuts. Yes, I talk about how walnuts have omega-3s in them. But again, all right, when I talk about that, I think it's important to point out that walnuts and plant-based foods that do have omega-3s in them, right, I'm talking about the ALA form of omega-3 fatty acids. All right, that alpha-linolenic acid. So it needs to be converted into EPA and DHA. All right, those are your 2 big ones. There's what's the other one? The third one, I think ETC, ETA. So almost get it right. ETA. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. That's why they have the short forms, and you'll see it all the time. All right, so ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. All right. But you have ETA as well, all right, which again you'll find in things like mussels, things of that nature. Again, a lot of people aren't eating mussels. For me, I'm not eating mussels on a day-to-day basis, right? But things like greens, leafy vegetables, flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts. We've talked a little bit about how you're going to get some omega-3s in those foods. But again, it's alpha-linolenic acid. It's ALA. All right, so now you know the 4 forms. All right, ALA, EPA, ETA, and then DHA. All right, and your biggest ones are going to be EPA, at least in my opinion, EPA and DHA. All right, and we've had the most studies on those. But I just wanted to point out again, when you talk about ALA, when I talk about it, alpha-linolenic acid, right, in those leafy greens, those seeds, I always talk about walnuts. Just make sure you know that I'm talking about ALA, and it needs to be converted. And the conversion rate, all right, is very, very low. All right, we see in a lot of studies, usually no more than 10% of that ALA is being converted into EPA and DHA. So you want to make sure that you're getting good forms of foods or supplements. I do it by supplements. I don't even think really about foods. I supplement with a fish oil. Make sure you're getting a good quality fish oil. And make sure that you're focusing on EPA and DHA. Yes, those vegetables and everything else, those seeds are great, but make sure you're also really focusing on EPA and DHA. Things like fish, sardines, salmon, all great. We'll talk about it a little bit more. But again, ALA, the conversion rate, very, very poor when it comes to EPA and DHA. Again, 10%, around 10%. And that's just too low, especially considering the amount of ALA that you're going to get in those foods already. It's very, very low. Your EPA and DHA daily needs are most likely not going to be met by eating greens, leafy greens. By having seeds, you're going to be going way over your macronutrient needs for the day. If you're focusing on seeds for omega-3 fatty acids. So again, the 4 forms of omega-3 fatty acids: ALA, EPA, ETA, right, and then DHA. And I really want you to focus on the EPA and DHA. Okay, so let's go back. How much do we need? What's the correct dosage? Well, you'll find a lot of the times, and this should always be discussed with your medical practitioner, okay? Again, I'm giving sort of my opinion based on studies, based on other information that I've seen out there on what the correct dosage is, but everyone's different. Everyone's situation is different. I mean, a lot of times you'll see most health organizations, so the World Health Organization, right, CDC, in Canada and in Europe, recommending somewhere between 200, maybe 250 to 500 milligrams, right, of EPA and DHA combined. So a combined DHA and EPA of up to 500 milligrams. What's my personal opinion on that? in my opinion, I think that's a little bit low. Looking at the studies, I think that's a little bit low. Now, it's a great start, right? But I do think that that's a little bit low when it comes to EPA and DHA supplementation, trying to get that in there, right? We already know through a lot of studies that individuals with, let's say, depression or anxiety, even unfortunately for those with cancer, all right, or autoimmune deficiencies, a lot of the times individuals can benefit up to 4,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA per day. Even those individuals with heart health, because we're going to talk a lot about heart health this morning. Going up to 4,000. Would I go up to 4,000 right off the bat? I probably wouldn't. All right. A lot of people are probably near zero right now with their EPA and DHA. I would start somewhere around that 500 mark. Start at the top, and then maybe work yourself up. Mary, good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday, Mary. Happy Saturday to you. Thank you so much for joining in. I always appreciate it, Mary. Huge supporter of the channel, so I thank you, Mary. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Hope you've been having a great week. So I would start a little bit on that higher end, all right? But again, let's just talk about myself. Right now, I'm taking in a combined EPA and DHA. Now, my supplement has more DHA than EPA. I know some people who are taking around 2 to 3 grams of just EPA, all right? So 3,000 milligrams of EPA. Would I recommend that? Absolutely not. Not just jumping right off the bat. Speak with your medical practitioner about that. And thank you for the thumbs up, guys. I really do appreciate it. For myself, all right, with my EPA and DHA, all right, I'm taking at least 1,250 milligrams of EPA and DHA, all right? I'm even thinking about and even started jumping that up to 2,500 milligrams per day. So 2.5 grams of EPA and DHA. I think that's the best for me. Going over my research, with all of these, especially in the winter, all right, these winter months, we don't get a lot of sunlight. We don't get a lot of that warm weather. I think that's a really, really good start for myself, all right? And that's why I think you should speak with your medical practitioner. Is going to be low, all right? You got to kind of test. Don't go too high. Make sure that you're focusing on good quality supplementation. But myself, just to put it out there, again, the other thing is I'm getting about 15, so of that 2,500 milligrams of EPA and DHA, 1,500 is coming from DHA and 1,000, so what would that put me at? 1.5 grams of DHA and 1 gram of EPA, and I'm happy with that. I'm very, very happy with that, and I've seen good effects, again, for your mind, for the heart, for heart health, for extra energy, helping boost mood, things we're going to talk about, and this is why we need it, all right? We need omega-3 fatty acids. The ratio of polyunsaturated, all right, to monounsaturated, so your polyunsaturated sources, your omega-3 sources, to monounsaturated, all right, has just gotten off the scale. You're seeing 20 to 1, all right? So omega-3s being at the 1 ratio, and then your other healthy fats, or even just fats in general, not even healthy fats, like saturated fats and trans fats, all right, are 20, all right? So that ratio is very, very poor. I would say you want to be somewhere into the 1 to 4. All right, maybe the 4 to 1 is a better way of putting it. All right, and there's numerous reasons for that. Again, the higher the ratio. So if you're at like 15 to 1 to 20 to 1, all right, monounsaturated to polyunsaturated, you are going to have a lot of inflammation, and you are going to miss out on the benefits of omega-3 fatty acids. Now, we know the dosage. We know the different types of omega-3 fatty acids. Again, if you need just a quick reminder, I don't think you do, but if you're in the chat, if you're in here live, all right, remember we have ETA, All right, we have EPA, we have ALA, and we have DHA, and we always want to make sure that we're focusing on EPA and DHA. ETA too, all right, it's just really tough to get that ETA. And remember, ALA is converted into EPA and DHA just in a really, really small amount. Remember, 10%, about 10% of that ALA, alpha-linoleic acid, is going to be converted into EPA. So your walnuts, when I talk about walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, all of that different stuff. That's why you need a good supplement, I think. A supplement makes it so easy. Unless you're eating salmon, which I wouldn't even recommend, all right, sardines on a day-to-day basis. I think you can really go a long way with your health when you go with that supplementation. Because if you're going ALA, all right, you're going 10% into conversion of EPA and DHA, it's just going to be way too small, all right? You're just not going to hit those EPA and DHA levels that we need for good health. Now, let's talk about why I think we need, not even think, but why we need omega-3 fatty acids in our diet. And again, feel free to ask your own questions, right? This doesn't have to be just me going on. Feel free to ask your questions in chat on a number of different topics. Let's keep it diet, nutrition, fitness related, but feel free to ask your own questions as well. So let's go into what are the benefits of omega-3 fatty acids. Well, the benefits are numerous, all right, and they're very, very important. We see a lot of, acute diseases, all right, so short-term diseases that can be minimized, that can be reduced through omega-3 consumption, but also chronic diseases that can be reduced through supplementation. All right, now acute is going to be more on the depression, anxiety. Those are two very, very complex disorders. So of course, again, I'm going to say speak with your medical practitioner. Am I saying that by supplementing and getting 1,250 milligrams of EPA and DHA combined is going to just cure your depression, cure your anxiety? No, I think that would be doing you a major disservice. I think because, again, it might not be omega-3 related. Yes, it can help. There's been a lot of studies, but I think you need to speak with your medical practitioner because there could be numerous things at play. Can it help? Absolutely. Can it be the end-all, end-all? It depends. Positive vibes on the first Saturday in 2024. Thank you, Damon. Great to see you in chat. Positive vibes going out to you as well. The Morning Warrior. Before 6:30 where you are, Damon. Man, you get up early, my friend. You get up early. Early riser, just like me. I was up at just after 7. That's kind of a sleep-in for me. I was off from the gym today, so I didn't have to wake up super early, but I'm always an early riser, so like 7:15, 7:30 was a sleep-in day for me today. I'm usually up, try to get up. I usually set the alarm for like 5, 6. Still working on it as we're getting like away from the less busy time of Christmas, the Christmas season, getting into kind of grind season right now, back into the work schedule. We're getting on there. We're getting back on the train. But let's talk a little bit about what are the health benefits. 1, heart health. All right, we know, and we've seen through numerous studies. All right, one of the most well-known omega-3 benefits, all right, is that it can positively affect major risk factors that are associated with heart disease. All right, so good for your heart. If you want to improve heart health, a lot of people talk about mood and depression, and a lot of people forget that omega-3 fatty acids are needed for overall good heart health. All right. And to take away risk factors. Now, what are some of those risk factors? Remember, taking away risk factors, right, is very, very important because those risk factors combined over time are going to lead. Thank you for the thumbs up, too, by the way. All right, I just saw we're at 11, so thank you so much for the thumbs up, guys. Those popping in, really appreciate you guys. You guys are, again, the algorithm of the channel. So thank you so much, and big shout out to Mary and Damon for coming in here. So thank you, guys. But remember, what are some of those risk factors? Again, we already talked about inflammation. So if you're getting omega-3 fatty acids, you're going to be decreasing inflammation throughout the body. All right, it's going to have a positive effect that way. But here's what we see through the studies, all right? Where you can see a lowering of high triglycerides in the body, which is great, right? And this is through omega-3 supplementation, all right? Lowering of high triglycerides, lowering of high blood pressure, all right, which is amazing. Again, if you have chronic high triglycerides and you have chronic high blood pressure, over time, right, you are going to be at risk of heart disease. So we see just two right there. Another one is the regulating and lowering. If you have high cholesterol, all right, the lowering, and we see a significant lowering of LDL bad cholesterol. Now you get a 2-for-1. And here's the great thing about omega-3 fatty acids and why you need them in your diet is not only do you see a regulation and lowering of bad LDL cholesterol, but you see a raise in HDL, all right, so good cholesterol. So good HDL cholesterol goes up. Right? Total cholesterol, couldn't find too much, I think, because you get a lower and a raising, all right? Didn't want to put that out there. Right? You can prevent plaque buildup, all right? So atherosclerosis prevention, all right? Plaque buildup, clearing the arteries with omega-3s, all right? You can aid in preventing plaque buildup, all right? Which is responsible, again, for atherosclerosis. What is atherosclerosis? It's a hardening and a restricting, all right, narrowing of our arteries, blood vessels, things of that nature, and can potentially, unfortunately, can lead to heart attacks, strokes, things of that nature. Lastly, all right, you can prevent blood clots, all right? So we don't want to see platelets clumping up. We don't want to see plaque clumping up. All right? We can see some prevention in blood clots with just consuming omega-3 fatty acids. It's that simple, guys. Consume those omega-3 fatty acids and you will be doing yourself a tremendous favor when it comes to overall heart health. And remember, I'm passionate about overall heart health. Why is that? Because over a quarter of the world's population, I would say it's almost a third now of the world's population, has is going to, deal with risk factors of heart disease or have heart disease themselves. All right, that's a third. I would put it at a third of individuals, and we see that through the foods that we are eating. Low omega-3s being one of them. All right, fast food, obesity rates, all right, low nutrients, all right. Really poor macronutrients. That's something that we don't talk about a lot, but really low fat. So you're not going to be getting in those omega-3 fatty acids. A lot of inflammation, right? And just no movement. A lot of times when it comes to heart disease, there's just poor diet, no movement, and we're just not eating the right foods, all right? Getting in the right micronutrients or macronutrients like omega-3 fatty acids. All right, what is another? So we see huge benefits for overall heart health. All right, what are some other ones? Well, I talked about the reduction of inflammation. All right, huge studies on the reduction of inflammation, and that is huge. Why do I always go back and talk about the reduction of inflammation? Well, reducing inflammation in the body, all right, maybe it's not... it's pretty logical, I think, but reducing inflammation because it can decrease a whole wide range of chronic diseases. All right, reduce the risk of a whole range of chronic diseases. All right, it gets to the root cause of many of these diseases. All right, a lot of the times, all right, if you have arthritis symptoms, all right, if you're dealing with a number of other diseases, all right, inflammation can put you over time. If you have chronic inflammation, yes, can put you at risk for overall heart disease. Yes, Alzheimer's and dementia, it can put you at risk for those two chronic diseases. And that's just the starting point. Arthritis, you can go on and on. Liver disease, kidney disease, poor digestion, inflammatory bowel disease, colitis, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease. The list goes on and on when you're dealing with that type of stuff. Damon, and remember to get blood. Sorry, it always cuts off with this Get blood work done. The numbers don't lie. Absolutely. Get blood. That's a great point, Damon. I think the best thing is to get blood work done. There's nothing wrong with getting blood work done and seeing what your numbers are. I usually will get them not always on, a full, like every single micronutrient. I just sometimes I won't do that every year, but I try to do it as often as possible. I'll do it if I'm feeling sluggish. I'll do it if I'm maybe feeling, if I feel like something's off a little bit. But get blood work done at least once a year, guys. All right, once a year, I think will put you in good standing when it comes to those numbers. Like, check out your iron levels. Check out your B12 levels. Right? You want to make sure that you're checking all of that stuff out because, one, if they're low, that can lead to a bunch of different, diseases. All right, anemia being one of them. The other thing is if they're low, we want to make sure that we get them to good levels. We want to make sure that they're right in that healthy range. All right, and if you're high, all right, you're high. Maybe your doctor can look at it. If it's high, like let's say you have high vitamin B12, all right, that might not necessarily be a bad thing. I know individuals who've had high vitamin B12 and then their doctor just says, stay the course, keep doing what you're doing. Right? But if you're low in vitamin B12, then you want to correct. Same thing with iron. But too much iron might not be a good thing either. Christine, good morning to you. Thank you so much, Christine. You're doing it. You guys are doing it. I know that you were wanting to get into more lives, but thank you so much, Christine. A lot of people have been popping in and out or popping in for a little while here, but I want to give a big shout out to Mary, Damon, and Christine for sticking it out, sticking in, and commenting in chat. So thank you so much, guys. Now, the other thing is we talked about that reduction of inflammation. Like I said, heart disease, right? Alzheimer's, huge. We see numerous studies, right, that EPA and DHA, all right, can help reduce inflammation and help reduce chronic diseases. The other thing is, again, I talked about the gastrointestinal effects. Right? We talked about how omega-3 consumption can increase making sure our digestive tract is working optimally and efficiently, but also not putting you at risk for things like inflammatory bowel disease. We also talked, and I think this is a huge one, we see studies, and I've found some interesting studies as of late, where omega-3s can help reduce inflammation caused by fat accumulation in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So again, I talked a little bit about improving our liver health. A lot of the times, and I always tell this to people, our heart and our liver are connected. Same thing with our gut. All right, I'm reading a book right now that's very, very good. He has two really simple philosophies. Maybe oversimplified just a little bit. I got to get more into the book. I started reading it. It's a longer book, but I've gone through a good portion of it, maybe 1/8 of it. But he has a very, very simple, and this is a medical doctor, has a very, very simple, I guess we'll say motto. All right, his motto is improve the gut and improve liver health. Those are the two things that he's after. And it makes total sense, at least to me. Right? You want to make sure your gut health, remember that's your second brain now, right? But also improving liver health as well. Because remember, as I've mentioned before, heart health, liver health, kidney health are all interconnected. Even a little bit of thyroid, those different systems in the body, we see that they're all interconnected. We see that they all play a role within each other, all right? And there's things that we can do to support these systems, all right? And medicines that we can take, all right, to help support these systems. So decrease inflammation is our next one, all right? The other one is, all right, we already know, and I think there's been a lot of research, a lot of discussion when it comes to omega-3 fatty acids, that one, it can help to, again, we already talked about inflammation. mental disorders, things of that nature. Again, if you're dealing with psychiatric disorders, mental disorders, speak with your medical practitioner. All right. But we see that one, if we're having omega-3s and we have a good ratio of those omega-3s, all right, so polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats, if we're having a good ratio between the two, so we're not overdoing it on just the monounsaturated, so only avocados, only peanut butter, only other certain nuts, pistachios, things of that nature. If we're not overdoing it on that and totally neglecting omega-3 fatty acids, right, we see in numerous studies that depression, right, can be improved. Again, as the studies show, depression can be improved. Same thing with anxiety when we have omega-3 supplementation and omega-3, a good ratio with those omega-3s. And what are we shooting for? We're shooting for, yes, ALA. I think that's your big one, your alpha-linolenic acid. Again, alpha-linic acid, though, is converted into EPA and DHA, but only at a 10% conversion rate, guys. Yes, you can focus on that ALA. You can focus on it all day, but the conversion rate is going to be very, very small. And that's why, yes, focus on ALA, but make sure that you focus on DHA and EPA. But those three, all right, because remember we talked about the 4 sources of omega-3 fatty acids, ETA being the other one. All right, but those 3 types of omega-3 fatty acids have been shown in studies to be the most beneficial for depression, all right, and depression symptoms, and also anxiety. You need to be taking it regularly, though. All right, it's not like you can, supplement with omega-3s for, once or twice a week and then be good to go. You need to make sure that you're taking it regularly because it's a macronutrient. Your body needs it, if not every day, at least every other day. You need to make sure that you're getting in the EPA and DHA. And again, you might need it at higher levels than what's usually kind of recommended by a lot of health organizations. They always go low for some reason when it comes to supplementation and everything like that. I don't think they take into consideration supplementation. But again, most of those health organizations recommend somewhere in between 250, maybe 200, as low as I saw some studies and saw in some other reports, 250 to 500 milligrams of EPA and DHA. If I was to do that, right, just in my supplement, I'd be blowing that out of the water. In one supplement, I'm taking 1,250. I'm taking more than double. And that's, for me, quite low. I'm getting 700, and this is a teaspoon of fish oil. All right, 750 milligrams of DHA and 500 milligrams of EPA. So often it's very low. We see in numerous studies and numerous other reports that those individuals who are dealing with depression, like I just mentioned, dealing with heart issues, like I mentioned, how omega-3s can be helpful for the heart. If you're dealing with depression, heart problems, cancer, unfortunately, other autoimmune diseases, inflammation, then sometimes we see it increased all the way to 4,000 milligrams. All right. And I'm thinking this year, again, I talked a little bit about this earlier, but going to 2.5 grams, so 2,500 milligrams. And that would still put me on a lower range. All right. Not that I have depression, or major anxiety, or heart problems, but I just want to make sure that I'm improving my overall health and making sure that I'm getting a good dosage of omega-3s, because I do get a lot of healthy fats, but I want to make sure that I'm getting healthy fats such as omega-3s. Yes, it's easy to get those healthy fats in. Monounsaturated, very easy. Saturated fats, keep those much lower. And trans fats, try to knock out of your diet if you can. There's no need for trans fats. So if you can knock trans fats out, it's low. All right, but that's the dosage. So we know good for heart health. We know good for depression and anxiety. We've seen that, again, in numerous studies. There's been some other ones. I don't really want to talk about it too much because I think this is more of with your medical practitioner. But we even do see when it comes to mental disorders and things of that nature, I like talking about the benefit of depression and anxiety. But there are other ones. Hina, thank you so much. Sorry, we got someone new. Hina Sharma, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're doing well. And if anyone else is in here and new to the stream, please say hi. Please say where you're listening from. Hina, if you can let me know where you're listening from, that would be great. I would love that. And again, we see improvements adding omega-3 supplementation with depression and anxiety. There's just been the most studies on that, all right? The most studies on getting in ALA, EPA, and DHA. Again, focus on your DHA and EPA. ALA, yes, very good. You're going to get that through your leafy greens, but the conversion is just so low, and they don't mention that in a lot of the studies. All right, get ALA in, but only 10% of that is being converted to EPA and DHA. So it's not a lot of omega-3 fatty acids that are being put into your diet. Yes, we could talk about ADHD. We could talk about bipolar disorder. Even schizophrenia. I think I have listed down here. I don't have my notes right in front of me. I'm kind of going off the top of my head, but I think schizophrenia was even in there. I'm not going to, the link between omega-3s and all of those mental disorders, right? I'm going to stick with depression and anxiety, the most studied, the best clinical studies out there and research out there. And the longest studied, those have been studied for a very long time. Right? We see a lot of connections with omega-3 supplementation and the benefits that it has with depression and anxiety. Again, those other ones are more new. So going to kind of put it out there, but, speak with your medical practitioner when it comes to those types of things. Don't watch the news. That helps lower depression. Absolutely, Damon. 100%. I think so. I think when you're watching the news, depression for sure. I mean, you're getting a lot of negativity in your life because, of course, they don't. There's not a lot of news stories that show, positive things. There's some, but a lot of the times it's really, really bad headlines. Or an incoming, bad headlines, scare tactics to kind of keep you watching, things of that nature. And that's not to say that, news is bad, but, try to limit that. If that's, something that's giving you anxiety, for sure it's going to help with anxiety for one. Also can help with depression for sure. And then that's just going to put you in a better mindset, better mind state, especially starting your day. I can't imagine starting your day with, horrible headlines on a day-to-day basis. I mean, start it with something that's positive. Start it by, getting in good nutrition, hydrating, getting in good water intake. Maybe have your coffee and relax a little bit. Go to the gym. I have some family members that, are very good at, hydrating, getting a nice smoothie in, and then going to the gym. I mean, I think that's the best. So again, we see that. Another one, all right, we've seen an amazing link, all right? We've seen an amazing link, all right? I already talked a little bit about the gastrointestinal issues and the positive aspects of that, but we've seen a major link of preventing and managing autoimmune diseases, all right? So autoimmune diseases, even an increase in immune system overall, boosting the immune system, helping us to fight and keep ourselves healthy. Infectious disease, especially as we're coming up with cold and flu, or we're already in it, or respiratory diseases. We know that we're already in that. Let's boost our immune system through omega-3 fatty acids, because we see some really, really positive studies on preventing and managing autoimmune diseases. All right, now autoimmune diseases a little bit different than what I'm talking about with cold and flu or respiratory infections, RSV. It's all out there right now. But what autoimmune conditions am I talking about? Well, we see in the studies, these ones I wrote down because I found these very, very interesting. all right? But we see like type 1 diabetes, all right? So not, it can help with that. Again, speak with your medical practitioner. Type 1 diabetes is not something that I like to touch. That is an ongoing, you have to really be on top of it, and it's an ongoing health issue. And it can have major consequences if you're not on top of it. You have to make sure that you're speaking with your medical practitioner and make sure that you're doing the right things with that disease. But type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, right, all amazing, can help with, things like weight loss, getting in omega-3 fatty acids, getting in good micronutrients, fitness, moving around, all right, getting good sleep, things of that nature, just increasing your overall health, I think can do a tremendous benefits when it comes to pre-diabetes and type 2 diabetes. Type 1, a little bit different. Make sure you're speaking with your medical practitioner, all right? But things like leaky gut syndrome, all right, ulcerative colitis, all right, Crohn's disease, again, those inflammatory, bowel diseases. Right? We also see an increase in positive effect, all right, when it comes to omega-3 fatty acids being consumed in the first year of doing it. So it's going to take some time. Again, it's not going to be overnight. No, it's just like it's funny because I was having a discussion with someone, and a lot of people will, let's say, anti-aging, and they'll want to, go on foods or go through a routine of anti-aging, but then they don't see anything after a week, or even let's go weight loss, all right? Because now we're in the new year and everyone's trying to lose weight, right? People don't see the results after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even a month. If they make it that far, they don't see the results, and so they stop. It's the same thing here. You have to make sure that you stick with the nutrition and stick with your omega-3s, right? Because it's not going to happen overnight. We see in the studies that it doesn't happen overnight. Especially with the chronic diseases, it'd be amazing if you just, added omega-3s to your diet, and then boom, your blood pressure went down, or your bad LDL cholesterol went down and your HDL cholesterol went up after a week. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. A lot of the times, this is happening within the first year. All right, so just keep that in mind, guys. Now, here's some other ones, and some surprising ones that I just want to put out there for you guys. All right, we've seen some, and I thought this was really, really good because, why do we need omega-3 fatty acids in our diet? Why am I saying powerful reasons why we need omega-3 fatty acids in our diet? Well, for one, all right, really, really good studies that omega-3 fatty acids, all right, can help improve sleep quality. Now, why is that? Well, for one, all right, you're increasing mood, or improving mood, all right, increasing, the beneficial aspects of mood is more relaxing. If you're not dealing with depression and anxiety, that fight or flight, obviously, all right, it's going to be a little bit easier to have better sleep, so the quality of your sleep can go up, but also help treat insomnia. So if you can't fall asleep, all right, it can help with that as well. Right? A lot of people, if they're low or they have omega-3 fatty acid deficiency, which is a lot of people, by the way. And that's why I always say, if I was to recommend 3 really, really good supplements, it would always be omega-3s, probiotics, and a multivitamin. And then you can throw D3 and K2 in there. But a lot of people are deficient when it comes to omega-3 fatty acids. And then we see in these studies that those individuals who are lower in omega-3s are lower in levels of melatonin. All right, melatonin, again, that nice sleep aid, all right, hormone that is, one, partly responsible for helping you to fall asleep in the first place. Don't overdo it. Again, melatonin has a very short half-life. Our body All right, are you guys able to hear me now? Yeah, technology goofing up just a little bit. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. It looks pretty good on my end. It's buffering still just a little bit. All right, you can hear me? Okay, good now? Wow, okay. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. It was really weird. My screen went blank, but I'm glad we're back now and I didn't have to reset the stream, which is amazing. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but that's technology for you, ladies and gentlemen. But we got back, which is the best part. So thank you for sticking in with me. I'm not exactly sure what happened. It just kind of cut out. But again, we are good to go. Did a little, I guess maybe I'm a little bit better with technology. Knock on wood so that doesn't happen again. But sometimes it can happen. But let's continue, guys. Let's continue with what we were talking about. Again, I was talking about sleep quality. Thanks for letting me know, by the way, Damon and Christine, that you can still hear me. So we're back in. Thank you so much for joining, everyone, rejoining the stream. I know sometimes that can be a little bit annoying. If it happens again, just let me know, because a lot of times I can't tell sometimes that it goes off. It'll say that it's still on for me, but sometimes you guys can't hear. So I think everyone can hear. Damon, I think you can hear. Christine, I think you can hear. And some people are coming in now. So I think we're good to go. Anyway, let's continue. I think the biggest thing, one, it can improve sleep quality. And again, it makes sense. Again, we talked about little lower levels of melatonin was linked to those individuals that were low in omega-3 fatty acids. All right, I think we left there. So if you're low in omega-3s, all right, you're going to be a little bit lower in melatonin. We got you back, Nate. Thanks, Damon. I appreciate that. Thanks, buddy. So you're going to be a little bit lower in melatonin, all right? And melatonin is that natural, sleep hormone. Again, if you're going to go on melatonin, just make sure you don't overdo it. Your body adapts really, really quickly, all right? Your body adapts really fast to melatonin, okay? And the half-life is very, very low. So again, some quick ones to throw out there. Improve sleep quality. All right. One, it can help with eye health. All right. Why? Because your retinas contain quite a bit, more than you would think, of DHA. All right. So one of those really great types of omega-3 fatty acids. All right. So DHA is actually necessary for the fatty acid. So DHA, all right, can really help with the overall function of the eyes. So you can help to lower the risk of macular degeneration, right? Because your retinas, all right, your eyes, right, have been shown. It was in and out for a short time, but good now. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Christine. I think that's the best thing, because sometimes it can be a little bit disheartening when you're talking to yourself. So thank you, Christine. Thank you, Damon, for letting me know. All right, but again, link to overall eye health, which is amazing. Again, that's something that we want, and there's consistent evidence. All right, we see, things put out by the National Eye Institute, things put out by National Institutes of Health, all right, that omega-3 fatty acids, all right, we see year after year suggesting that, polyunsaturated fatty acids like DHA and EPA are necessary for overall eye health, and especially connected to eye health, which protects your eyes from disease such as macular degeneration, and can just improve overall eye health, especially age-related eye health, but macular degeneration and other things of that nature. All right, we want to make sure that we're improving our overall eye health. I think that's important for a lot of people. All right, so even omega-3s, everything that we've talked about, all right, from overall heart health to overall liver health to overall eye health, mood, depression, anxiety, there can be major improvements. All right, even bone health. All right, and that's the amazing thing. Even bone health, we can see improvements in overall bone health if we're consuming the right amount of omega-3 fatty acids. Again, you're going to see dosages from 250 seems awfully low. All right, you don't even need the supplement if that was the case. All right, you can probably get that through your foods, but you see 250 to 500 all the way up to 4,000. I think you need to take more than that? Probably not. 4,000, all right, I'd say is more than high enough. I'm stopping at 2,500, and I think that's more than enough for myself. A lot of the days I get 1,250 milligrams, all right, so 1.5 grams of EPA and DHA. All right, that's the important thing to note. Sleeping on your back for better eye health. Yes. My eye doctor says. Yeah, which is interesting. That's interesting, Christine. I've never heard that, but hey, if your eye doctor is suggesting it, you go with what your eye doctor says, right? Jay Mees, thank you so much. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so much for coming into the stream. Thank you so much for joining the conversation today. And I'm glad we're back. The stream went off for just a little bit, but seems like we are back. Jay Mees, thank you so much. Hope you're having a great start to the new year. We're already a week in, so unbelievable. But Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much for joining. And I think that's enough of the health benefits. Of course, it can help with skin health benefits. Have those omega-3s. We know it can improve bone density, omega-3 fatty acids especially, but concentrate. I know there's 4 types that we went over, but concentrate on DHA and EPA. Both can help with bone mineral density, and both can benefit your skin. All right. So make sure you're focusing on that. Yes, ALA, all right, converts into EPA and DHA, but again, I'll just point out it's only about a 10% conversion rate. All right, so make sure that you're getting that in. My New Year's resolution is to be vegan again. Oh, nice. I did it for the first 4 months of last year, and this time I want to make it permanent. Wow, good for you, Jamies. Vegans, again, with that diet, I always say, Jamies, go with a diet that you enjoy, that you can continue for the rest of your life, and that you're getting good results on and staying healthy with. So that's a great New Year's resolution. Stay in chat, stay in touch. Let me know how that's going. If you're having a hard time with it, I want to make sure that we're really focusing on accountability and things like that here. But if you can make it permanent, all the best to you. I mean, just make sure you're watching your iron and B12 levels. Of course, you've probably heard that all before, but, with the vegan diet. But congratulations to you on finding a diet that you want. And congratulations on the New Year's resolution. And that's a big one. Just changing your diet. Do you need to keep stacking and stacking? I think if you can just focus on vegan diet and staying healthy with that, I think that's a great New Year's resolution right there. And I think you'd be more than happy with obtaining that. So congratulations, Jamies. Good for you. Now, again, let's just talk about the the foods. Fish is going to be the big one. Got ahead of myself there. All right, so supplementation is the easy one. All right, you can always supplement. That's the easiest one there. All right, the foods are simple. There's not a lot of foods. All right, you can go with mackerel. You can go with chia seeds. I like herring. Herring is a really good one. Sardines is a huge one. This is why you go with fish oil supplement, because a lot of people aren't going to be having sardines, salmon, mackerel every day. Tuna to some extent, not the best. I would go with herring instead. So your best fish are going to be mackerel, salmon for sure, probably at the top, sardines for sure, probably at the top, herring. They say albacore tuna, there's just not a lot of omega-3 fatty acids in tuna. There's not a lot of fat in tuna in general, so just make sure you're sticking to those right ones. Now, we also see foods like walnuts, chia seeds, hemp seeds, all great things. Even egg yolks to a certain extent. Egg yolks are, unless it's like fortified with omega-3 fatty acids, you're not going to be getting a lot with egg yolks. But again, like let's say flaxseed oil. I would focus on on the fish, and I would focus on an omega-3 supplement. Why? Because a lot of times you'll see, we'll just go with flaxseed oil, or just go with walnuts, or just go with hemp seeds. But the thing is, again, flaxseed, yes, very high in ALA. All right, I think it per tablespoon of oil, all right, it's something like 5 grams, maybe a little bit more, maybe like 7 grams. Let's just say it's 7 grams or 8 grams, right? Yes, it's a great source of ALA, but we know ALA isn't absorbed well as DHA and EPA, so it's not an ideal source, at least for me. Like walnuts is the exact same, right? Yes, it's high in that ALA, and ALA is fine. We already know alpha linoleic acid is fine. It's one of the 4 types of omega-3s. But when you're having that ALA, again, about 10% is absorbed as EPA and DHA. So focus on your supplement and focus on those fatty fish sources, or else you're not going to be getting the DHA and the EPA that we need to stay healthy. So there's nothing wrong, again, there's nothing wrong with eating your greens, there's nothing wrong with having the seeds, but again, I would supplement, or I would add the fish in along with that ALA. So those are the foods I would go with. Salmon for me, chia seeds, I'm okay with the sardines. Well, that's great, Christine. I mean, that's the best right there. Salmon, a little bit of chia seeds. You're okay. If you're okay with sardines, good for you. More power to you, Christine, because a lot of people are not, but sardines are very, very healthy. Not only with omega-3 fatty acids, they are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, same with salmon. But also in general, just really, really good micronutrients. Same with salmon, micronutrients, macronutrients. You're going to get some protein in there. That's awesome. Have to keep an eye on the sodium for those canned fish. Yes, that's a great point, Damon. Watch out for the sodium. Again, try to get no sodium added, no preservatives added if you can for can. Fresh, of course, is always better. It can be a little bit more expensive, but try to keep an eye out for that. I have some good salmon, some good tuna, no sodium added. I think it's only like 3% of the daily sodium of my daily sodium intake coming from those canned fish. So good point. Great point, Damon. Thank you for pointing that out. You're exactly right. But those are the foods that you're going to want to focus on, guys. Those are the foods. Again, Jamie's, for you, really focus on, because you're vegan, you're not going to be taking those supplements. All right. You're going to want to really focus on, and the reason why you're not going to be taking usually a supplement, there might be a vegan supplement out there, because I'm not vegan. And I've never, a lot of my clients aren't. I haven't really seen too many good vegan supplements that are going to be giving omega-3s. You might be able to do it if it's cod liver oil, by the way, is good for omega-3s. But again, that's not going to help you with vegan. You're going to be focusing more on, leafy green vegetables. You're going to be focusing more on chia seeds, hemp hearts, flax seeds, the walnuts, things of that nature. But again, it's going to be a little bit tougher for you to get that high EPA and DHA level. But again, you try your best. You make sure that you focus on it. Don't try not to go overboard on those monounsaturated fats. Very, very easy to do so. Try to get as much omega-3s as you can. All right. The thing is, and the reason why it has to be in your diet is your body doesn't produce omega-3s on its own. All right. They're essential fatty acids. All right. You have to consume them in order to be healthy. All right. Your body does not produce them. So again, that's another reason why we need to make sure that we're consuming them, and they need to be in our diet. Why we need to make sure we're having them in the diet, guys. So I think that's enough information. All right, those are all great foods, all right, that you can focus on. All right, I would focus on those. Again, it's really not that tough. Vegan, it definitely makes it a little bit tougher. Vegetarian definitely makes it tougher, but you're going to want to focus on those seeds. All right, you're going to want to focus on some vegetables. Really do a deep dive into what vegetables can give me the most ALA. Even though it's not converted, it doesn't have the best absorption, doesn't have the best conversion rate, you're doing better for yourself than if you weren't taking those foods in. So what are my final thoughts? All right, we see that omega-3s, they're related to a number of health benefits. All right, overall health, heart health, overall brain health, Alzheimer's disease. We talked about that when we talked about chronic diseases that we can fight off. Inflammation, autoimmune diseases, all right, things like cancer, things of that nature. All right, we want those omega-3s in. You want to focus on EPA and DHA. All right, there's 4 main types. All right, focus on, all right, the 3 that are going to be your best are, yes, ALA, but on top of the food chain is EPA and DHA. All right, we also know that when it comes to plant-based foods, and again for vegan, all right, yes, we can get foods that are high in omega-3 fatty acids that contain ALA. Just make sure that you're aware of the poor conversion rate, but you're still getting fatty acids in them. All right, I add walnuts to my daily omega-3 omega-3 fatty acid intake. Right, and you want to be somewhere at least 500 milligrams of EPA and DHA combined. All right, probably go a little bit higher than that, and speak with your medical practitioner. All right, those are kind of my takeaways. All right, we know that omega-3s can help a number of systems in the body. All right, a number of systems in the body, and we know that a lot of people are deficient when it comes to omega-3s and have an incredibly high ratio when it comes to polyunsaturated to those monounsaturated, like omega-6, omega-9 fatty acids, way higher in those than they are in omega-3s. So that's why we need omega-3s, guys. Again, we talked a little bit about my face being on camera. From now on, look for the face being on. I want to get a little bit into maybe daily streams, just being accountability, not having a topic where, like today, where we did sort of a deep dive into omega-3 fatty acids, but kind of going into just sort of overall accountability, overall health discussion, just kind of a quick little pop-in on a day-to-day basis. I think that would be very, very helpful. And again, of course, my face will be on stream. Everything is ready. I'm going to set it up, finish it up over the weekend, and we will be good to go. So thank you so much, guys. Let's give a big shout out here. Let's give a big shout out to Mary, to Damon, to Christine, to Hina Sharma. Thank you so much to our newer people coming in here. Oh, Logic World, I apologize. I missed your comment in there. Thank you, Logic World, for coming in. Jay Mees, thank you so much for coming in. I don't think I missed anyone. Christine, Damon, I don't think I missed anyone, but be on the lookout for that notification for our next stream. Again, it might be tomorrow for our daily check-in. But we'll see, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so thank you so much. We went over an hour again. It just goes by so fast with you guys. Thank you so much. Again, I could rant and talk about this stuff all day. So thank you so much. I appreciate having you all in here. Have a safe, healthy rest of your Saturday. And again, this is January 6th, 2024, the Coach Nate Show. All right, live, so you can come in here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mary P.A., for coming in. Big shout out to you. Sounds great. Have a great day. Thank you. Have a great day as well, Mary. And I appreciate you all. And I will be back soon. Stay strong, Damon. Absolutely. Thank you. And I will talk to you guys